evening, race fans, and welcome to Indiana's Kokomo Raceway, where tonight's racing, well, I hope you did not put the good body on the race car here tonight. It's going to be a rough and tumble, good battle of racing like we see every week here for the All-Star Racing Series presented by Autocraft Paint and Body Works. As always, my name is Upstate Al. I'm proud to bring you all of tonight's racing action here from the Kokomo Speedway. It's going to be a great night of racing. No, one change in the agenda for tonight. Series officials have decided to go one round of qualifying. So we'll have one round of extended heat race action coming your way, 15 laps in distance. Everybody will make it into tonight's main event. So here we look at the Autocraft Paint and Body Works race info here from Kokomo, Indiana. A little quarter-mile bull ring that puts on great racing. Last week at the Lernerville Speedway, Justin Holt went to victory lane holding off Jacob Lassiter and Brandon Marlowe. Will Holt be able to repeat here tonight? We are about to find out as we got the fans filing in. We want to thank you all for tuning on in here to the Turn 3 Racing Network for all of the All-Star Racing Series, main event. Taking a look at your current point standings headed in to tonight's racing action. James Braswell up atop of the points, but John Darby cut a big chunk out of that lead as Braswell was unable to start the feature 1 week ago. Justin Holt in that number 3 spot, Jacob Lassiter, Brandon Marlowe, Larry Towns, Tyler Carter, Kyle Vandergrift, Sage Luther, and Blake Brown rounding out your top 10 in points as we get ready to go with the penultimate round for the All-Star Racing Series. Hard to believe only 1 week left to go in the inaugural season for the All-Star Racing Series. It feels just like yesterday. We got started at the Cedar Lake Speedway, and that is where we will be 1 week from tonight. Nice little breeze here, keeping you nice and cool as practice starts to wind down here tonight. And as that happens, we want to thank everybody for watching the All-Star Racing Series here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And it is brought to you by Autocraft Paint and Body Works, ABR Setup Shop, JDM Designs, the Ford Entertainment Group, Sim Motion, and our friends at Inside Sim Racing TV. That is what tonight's racing action is looking like as we get ready to go with that action. Remember, only one round of qualifying here tonight. They are going to double up the points here. So a lot of points on the line for that first heat race and your starting position in tonight's main event. I want to thank everybody for coming in and watching tonight's racing action. As always, we are on the train to get 2,000 subscriptions on the Turn 3 Racing Network. So if you're new watching us here tonight and have not done so already, please hit that subscribe button on the YouTube side and the thumbs up. Let these drivers know that you appreciate their efforts that they are going to put on for you here tonight at the Kokomo Raceway. Quite interesting in practice. We look high from above the racetrack here. Quite interesting to see a lot of drivers trying to work that bottom of the racetrack. That seems the drivers feel that could be the fast way around this little quarter-mile bull ring. It's going to be some Saturday night short track action coming at you in just a few moments here. Practice is going to be winding down, but as they do that, we're going to take a quick moment before the action starts here from the Kokomo Raceway. welcome back here. Practice just getting about to be done. We can tell you that Jacob Lassiter set the fast time in practice so far. We'll have to see where he will roll off in the heat race number 1. We do know that he is going to be one here that keep your eyes on in that Max Green, car number 51. But heat race number 1 set up by the ABR Setup Shop. This is going to be your starting grid as we get ready to go with heat race number 1. And on that front row will be car number 23 of the Hood Up Motorsports. That is car number 23 of Matt George. Matt George going to start on the front row. Outside of him, the fastest man in practice, car number 51, it is Jacob Lassiter. Jake Lassiter going to start on the front row here tonight in heat race number 1, set up by ABR Setup Shops. Starting in spot number 3 will be car number 20. That is the young gun, Tyler Carter. Outside of him will be the 31 of Justin Holt. He went to victory lane 1 week ago. And then starting in that third and final row, car number 18 junior, your current points leader of the All-Star Racing Series. It is James Braswell Jr. And outside of him, the 00 of John Darby. So John Darby going to start on the 6th and final spot. Shotgun on the field to field, getting told 1 lap to go as the pace car. It's going to make the hard left-hand turn. He'll park down in the infield, and it'll be in the hands of Matt George up on the front of this one, leading them to green flag. Green flag is up. 15 laps is the distance, and we are underway with heat race number 1. Lassiter swings all the way up to the outside along with Tyler Carter. Everybody else working down to the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes George leading lap number 1. Everybody hooks the binders. It's now Holt to the inside. Will bid for your race lead. Justin Holt works the bottom of the racetrack. We got a new race leader down the backstretch as they enter the corner in the 51 of Lassiter, trying to work the bottom of the racetrack. And John Darby from 6, he's back there battling on the inside 3 wide. Down the backstretch, Tyler Carter still works the outside. Braswell in that 6th and final spot here as they work to complete lap number 3. And in the corner now, Carter down to the inside, really carrying the left front high. Gets a little bit loose off the turn number 2 as Braswell up on the outside of the racetrack trying to find a way around. John Darby down to the inside as now Justin Holt has worked the outside. Jacob Lassiter down though. Then it's a side-by-side dance for that number 3 spot. John Darby started at 6 and he is working the bottom of the racetrack as we go on board with the Autocraft paint and bodyworks onboard camera with Drummond, Tennessee's John Darby. Really hear him working that throttle as we were on board for over a lap there, and you can just see how these drivers are working it. Darby trying to find a way around Lassiter. Justin Holt up on the front of this window showing the way in spot number 1, trying to go to victory lane here in the ABR Setup Shop heat race number 1. Lassiter to the inside, and it'll be the 00 of Darby. But here comes Braswell, your current points leader. He has found the cushion on the outside of the racetrack, and he is moving forward in a hurry. Darby up high. He'll move into that number 3 spot for the time being off the corner. Now draws the beat on the 51. Just past the halfway point in heat race number 1, and Braswell really putting on a show on the outside of the racetrack. Down the backstretch they will come in the turn. You can see the 51 of Lassiter really works the bottom of the racetrack, but he will not hold off the hard charge in Braswell. Justin Holt on the outside as well. So your top 2 cars running the outside of the racetrack is the 51 of Lassiter. Tiptoes are on the bottom. John Darby moves up to the outside as well in spot number 4. Rounding out your field will be the 20 of Tyler Carter and Matt George, your pole sitter, here battling for the 5th spot. Popsicle sticks in the air for the 31 of Holt as he works the outside. He sees the 18 junior in his rear view mirror getting oh so ever bigger as they get the white flag off turn number 4. Final trip around the quarter mile, and that time they both got out of shape off the corner. Braswell down to the inside. Massive slide job coming, but too late, too little. It'll be the 31 of Holt picking up the win. Braswell second. Lassiter, Darby, George, and Carter rounding out your running order for heat race number 1. And just like that, we will move into heat race number 2. It's going to be a 4-car heat race here with 12 cars signing in to do battle for you on this tight little bull ring, Kokomo Speedway. And this is your starting lineup for heat race number 2. Heat race number 2 is going to be the 21 of Kyle Vandergriff. He's going to start on the inside of row number 1 in that Braswell Trucking car number 21. Then outside of him in car number 38, it'll be Larry Townsend, the driver out of Van Buren, Arkansas. Starting on the inside of row number 2 will be the Turn 3 Racing Autocraft Paint and Body Works, beautifully prepared. Number 28, it is none other than Blake Brown. Blake Brown, the promoter of the All-Star Racing Series, slated to start 3rd. And outside of him in car number 37, in this driver, he finished up in the 3rd spot 1 week ago at Lernerville. It is Brandon Marlowe out of Dexter, Missouri. 4 cars ready to do the dance here for us in heat race number 2, presented by JDM Designs. 15 laps will be the distance here. This will get for the outside of the front row. Nice crowd on hand here at the Kokomo Raceway. As a pace car going to make the hard left-hand turn. Kyle Vandergriff, Larry Townsend up on the front row. Who will go to victory lane in JDM Designs heat race number 2. Vandergriff leads them down to the turn number 1. Townsend on the outside. Here comes the number 28 of Blake Brown. He'll do the dance with the 37 of Marlowe. Marlowe throws it in through the middle, through the fluff, and finds the grip as they work down here in the foot lap 1 of the books. Vandergriff leads lap number 1, but he is under fire from the 38 of Larry Townsend. Townsend works the bottom of the racetrack, and as the Vandergriff automobile will work the outside of the racetrack. Back to the middle through turns 1 and 2. 3 wide for your race lead down the backstretch as we go. With the ABR setups up, drone cam, watching your top 3 drivers battling out from high above the speedway. Vandergriff showing the way, but you see everybody trying to find a different line around the Kokomo Raceway. Vandergriff shows it. Marlowe down to the inside. He'll take away the number 2 spot. Now challenging for your race lead. Brandon Marlowe, the catfish here tonight at Kokomo, is now Townsend will roll through the center. Good, take that number 2 spot away. Larry Townsend and Marlowe battling for that number 2 spot right behind race leader, the 21 of Kyle Vandergriff. 3 cars underneath the blanket. Blake Brown runs in that 4th spot, watching the battle in front of him. We got to thank Blake for everything he does for the racers and allows us to come out here on a Tuesday night. That time a little bit of a bobble. So new race leader, Brandon Marlowe. Marlowe really working the bottom of the racetrack. You can see how he has to work the car. It tightens up 3 wide once again in the turn number 1. This time by the cross flags will be up. It'll be 6 laps to go as Vandergriff has gone back to your race lead momentarily. Marlowe down low, and then it is the 38 of Townsend keeping the 37 of Marlowe, who is Uke tire hunting down on the bottom of the racetrack. Great action for your race lead. 5 laps to go now as it is Vandergriff at the line. Now Townsend makes contact with the 37 of Marlowe. 3 wide for your race lead. Great action here in heat race number 2. That time Townsend and Marlowe both have to check up as they play full contact racing here at the Kokomo Speedway. 3 laps to go this time off the corner. Marlowe back to the inside. They'll lay the rubber to the door panels on the 30 out of Townsend. Everybody keeps it pointed in the right direction. Oh, more contact at the corner. All that's doing is allowing the 20 win of Vandergrift, who gets the 2 laps to go signal. This time from starter of Barney Hall up on the flag stand. Vandergrift works down the backstretch, working the outside of the racetrack, keeping it down into the fluff. He'll get the 1 lap to go as now Townsend tries to mount one last attack. Larry Townsend has disputed the 37 of Marlowe to the 3rd spot, but off of turn number 4, Kyle Vandergrift is going to pick up JDM Designs heat race number 2. Townsend will come home second. Marlowe, Brown, and that'll round out your running order as Liner is the official here. So we want to thank him for his duty here tonight. And just like that, we are going to head into a warm-up session. Everybody going to get out there and final shakedown and get their cars fixed up and ready to go here tonight for tonight's main event. And while we do that, we want to take a moment here and thank the sponsors of the All-Star Racing Series from the Kokomo Speedway. And it is brought to you by Autocraft Paint and Body Works, your full-service auto collision shop located in Brooklyn, Arkansas. If you get into a fender bender, well, one place to look, Autocraft Paint and Body Works. ABR Setup Shop, your full-service setup shop, whether it's for weekly official setups, custom individual setups, and even individual coaching. They can do that for you to get you headed in the right direction on iRacing. Find out more information at abrsetupshop.com. JDM Designs, proud sponsor of the All-Star Racing Series here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And if you want to look as good as these race cars show you, must look up JDM Designs. Ford Entertainment Group, also known as FEGPC, it specializes in sim racing, sim flight gaming machines with over 4,500 PCs built and counting. For sim racers and sim pilots, you can be assured of a PC that is maximized and tuned for your specific sim needs. All FEGPCs come with a front-to-back warranty on every part as well as free labor. A true everything is covered warranty. Sim Motion, your one-stop shop for sim rigs, chassis, pedals, wheels, anything to do with sim racing. You looking to upgrade, you have to look them up at simmotion.com. And Inside Sim Racing TV, a proud supporter of the All-Star Racing Series. Stay up to date with all sim racing news at www.isrtv.com. Well, just like that, practice is done. The hot lap session is over, and it is now time for tonight's main event here at the Kokomo Speedway. Taking a look here at your starting lineup on the front row. Winner of heat race number 1, it'll be the driver from White Oak, Texas, in car number 31, the DTJ Milner Media Designs. Car number 311, this is Justin Holt. Starting to his outside in car number 21, this driver hails from Marion, Arkansas, in the Braswell Trucking. Car number 21, this is Kyle Vandergrift. Starting on the inside of row number 2 in car number 18, Junior, out of Marion, Arkansas, the Braswell Trucking O.H. Hendrick Racing Sheet Metal. Car number 18, JR, this is James Braswell. Starting to his outside in car number 38, it is Larry Townsend in the Hood Up Motorsports, car number 38. Rolling off in the 5th spot, the driver out of Tennessee, the 51, this is Jacob Lassiter. And outside of him, last week finished in the 3rd position at Lernerville, car number 37, Brandon Marlowe. Rolling off in that 7th position in the JDM Designs, the Hood Up Motorsports entry, car number 00 out of Drummonds, Tennessee, it is John Darby. Outside of Darby, his dancing partner will be car number 28, out of Paragould, Arkansas. This is Blake Brown, Matt George, Nick, and Tyler Carter, your 10-car field here tonight for tonight's main event. Getting ready to go green flag off turn number 4. We are green. We are underway here. Justin Holt leads the field in the turn number 1. Everybody's getting 3 wides. We go high above with the Autocraft paint by Blimp Cam. You can see the different lines already formed from that hot lap session. As Townsend tries to go up the middle, that's the battle for your 4th position. We come back down here. We watch him work down the backstretch. 3 wide as Jacob Lassiter works the bottom of the racetrack in a brand new paint job. Beautifully looking. The car number 51 for Lassiter really works the bottom of the racetrack as he's taking away the 4th spot now from Larry Townsend. Those drivers do battle. 3 wide as now Marlowe works the middle of the racetrack. 4 laps already, or 3 laps in the book, working lap number 4. Up front, though, Justin Holt shows the way over to number 21 of Vandergraff. Braswell runs in spot number 3. 4th is Townsend, and 5th is Lassiter. A little bit deeper in the field, a lot of action back here. Tyler Carter working the bottom of the racetrack. He is battling with the 23 of Matt George. George trying to find a way to work his way up through the field, and that beautifully prepared number 23, John Darby, tickling the outside off of turn number 2. He's trying to find a way around the boss man, Blake Brown. Brown trying to work the middle of the racetrack as he has moved up here tonight, already up 1 spot as he moves towards the front of the speedway. Darby gets back around him now as Brandon Marlowe in the 38 of Larry Townsend. These two duked it out in heat race action. Great battles all the way around the track. Darby now starting to roll the outside. He has moved in that 6th spot as now he looks to go around the 38 of Larry Townsend, but up front, Justin Holt showing the way as we look out the back bumper with the iRacing Flea Market onboard camera. Vandergraff right there on the back side of them. They work down the backstretch into turn numbers 1 and 2. You can see the 311 of Holt doing a great job holding the 21 of Vandergriff at bay for the time being, and already 10 laps in the books, working lap number 11. 51 of Lassiter runs there in spot number 4. Then it is the 37 of Marlowe. Townsend, Darby, Brown, George, and Carter is your running field as they work around the speedway. 1 car up the racetrack. That was the 51 of Lassiter. Lassiter had issues that time through turns 3 and 4, and that allows the 37 of Marlowe to close in. Once again, Lassiter in the outside retaining wall. Everybody really working the bottom of the racetrack right now as Justin Holt still holds your top 2 at bay. Brandon Marlowe runs there right behind Lassiter. Larry Townsend 6. John Darby now trying to work the outside of the racetrack up in the slick as he gets a run on the 38 of Townsend. This is the battle for the 6th spot, and just like that, Darby has it. He is the only car working the outside of the racetrack right now. Everybody else is down low. Darby 1 spot outside of the top 5 will now set sights on the 37 of Marlowe. As this track going to go through a very severe transfer over these 50 laps. You can already see the track slicking off. Justin Holt starting to stretch his legs out now, just over a half-second lead over Vandergriff, who is holding off the 18 of Braswell. Braswell comes into tonight's action as your points leader, but a very slim as he just hits the outside wall. Gotta wonder if that's going to hurt your suspension here. As we go on board with James Braswell with our Sim Motion onboard camera. Everybody doing a great job working around the racetrack. That is 1 lap. That happens very quick here. Lassiter works to the bottom of the racetrack. He is starting to feel the pressure now from Marlowe. Contact in the turn number 1. The yellow flag is going to fly as Brandon Marlowe and the 51 of Lassiter make contact down here in turns 1 and 2, and we are slowed for the first time, and Lassiter will get that 51 pointed back in the right direction. Let's take a look and see what happened on the entry to turn number 1. See Lassiter working the bottom of the racetrack. Brandon Marlowe and the 00 of Darby battling for the 5th position. Oh, the 51 of Lassiter slows up, hits the hooks, and the 37 of Marlowe unable to do so in time. Let's go on board with Brandon Marlowe. Watch it from his vantage point. Just gets in the corner, maybe a little bit of net go there between them as well. These wedge body cars. Doesn't take much to send them around as we will get ready to go back green flag racing here in just one hot minute. As they come off the corner, it'll be back green flag racing as we close in on the halfway point of our feature event. Everybody doing a good job. They work down the backstretch to 21 of Vandergrift showing the outside of the racetrack is Mile Darby down low. He hit the Uke tires. John Darby in trouble as that car is used up, missing the bottom front bumper of that 00. He was inside the top 5 as he is moving backwards. The 28 of Blake Brown is turned sideways back there. So far we stay green. No yellow flag as of yet. Justin Holt still shows the way. Vandergrift runs second. And now they cross the line, working lap number 25. Next time by, it'll be 25 in the books, 25 to go in our 50-lap main event here from the Kokomo Speedway. This time by, we have 25 laps to go. You know that the action's going to pick up when the lap counter starts to count backwards here. Tyler Carter works the outside of the racetrack. Carter working the outside of the racetrack, spent most of the first half of this race mirrored back in the back half of the top 10. Now working the outside of the racetrack, he has found his way to 6th, now challenging Lassiter for the 5th spot. Tyler Carter works the outside of the racetrack, trying to take the 5th spot away from the number 51 of Lassiter. Pardon me, folks. Down here in the turns 3 and 4, it is still Holt showing the way as your top 4 cars run single file. 51 of Lassiter now works the bottom of the racetrack, starting to make some hay on the 37 of Brandon Marlowe. Lassiter tiptoeing around the bottom of the racetrack and seems to be making it work for that flex number 51. At the line, 20 laps to go for Justin Holt. He is up on the front of this one, been unchallenged here tonight. So far, since the green flag is dropped, Vandergrift about 10 car lengths behind the 31 of Holt. Vandergrift, Braswell, your top 3. Marlowe is 4th. Then it's the battle for that 4th spot as Jacob Lassiter really works the bottom of the racetrack. He'll hold on to sole possession. He has to shut it down through turns 3 and 4, working the bottom. He is keeping all 4 tires down in that khaki clay. Has to hit the hooks there. Now going for 3rd. Lassiter might have found something here in the later stages of this racetrack. Now he starts to work the bottom of the racetrack. Misses it a little bit there. He'll lose some ground to the 18 of Braswell. 2 turns, 1 and 2, and down the backstretch. It'll be the 51 of Lassiter, but don't look now. Out of nowhere, the Tyler Carter, number 20, making his way towards the front. 15 to go at the stripe. Justin Holt has it. Vandergrift starting to close in on your race leader. Maybe he's got a long run car here. Or maybe Justin Holt has ran his tires a little bit too hard. Great battle here now. Yellow flag coming out. We were just talking about them. We jinxed them once again as the 20 of Tyler Carter involved in an incident here on the front stretch with the 00 of John Darby. Woo! Lot of action there. That right there was a great run by that field. And as we look at Tyler Carter's car, let's take a look and find out what happened to him as he was going for 5th. Oh, got up in the outside wall off the turn number 2. Got down in the corner. Oh, and just up the racetrack. Didn't have the momentum, and Darby gets underneath them. And up and over will go the 20 of Tyler Carter. So Carter down on the front row, the 00 down as well, getting some damage fixed on that 00. We will see if Carter will be able to get back out onto the racetrack before we go back green flag racing. Pace car down and away. It looks like we're going to go back green flag. This time off turn number 4. It'll be 13 laps to go. 14 to go. The yellow flag being waved off. Yellow flag, no go, no go. So we will pace one more time. Field doubles back up here. Looks like we're going to go this time. Off of turn number 4, we will see. Holt hits the gas pedal. We are back underway. 14 seconds left here at Kokomo. Tyler Carter going to jump back out there in the fray of it, right in the middle of your race leaders, down to the inside of the 51 of Lassiter. Lassiter works the middle of the racetrack. That is right there with the number 21 of Vandergriff. Tyler Carter working the bottom of the racetrack, trying to do the hard way to get that lap back as he was able to get out of the pits just as we went green. Up front, Justin Holt showing the way over Vandergriff. Side-by-side battle back here for the 3rd position. That is the 51 of Lassiter down to the inside. Braswell up on the outside of the racetrack. Braswell trying to save some points here tonight as they work through the corner. Off the corner, it'll be Braswell and Lassiter make contact with Tyler Carter. Carter making contact with the 51 of Lassiter, and yellow flag coming out. Yellow, yellow, yellow. As the 51 of Lassiter and Tyler Carter made contact here on the front stretch. Let's take a look here and see what happened. Tyler Carter working the bottom of the racetrack. Lassiter back to the bottom, trying to work around. They just make contact here on the front stretch. And the 38 of Townsend gets into the backside of Carter, and Carter sent pit side here after being exited out of the racetrack. So yellow flag coming out here once again for the 3rd time. Everybody pacing up there behind the pace car down here in the turns 1 and 2. Looks like it'll be a single file restart, as I believe we are now under 10 laps to go. Justin Holt, Kyle Vandergriff, James Braswell, Jacob Lassiter, Larry Townsend, your top 5. Green flag is up. We're back underway. Lassiter right back to the bottom as he was trying to crack the top 3 as they work down the back stretch side by side. It'll be Lassiter in the 3rd for the time being. 8 laps to go. Justin Holt holding the wheel pretty as they work down the back stretch. Let's go on board. Look at the back of the field. Lassiter really starting to make the bottom side work. See him down there all the way up in the 2nd. We're going to have a challenge for that number 2 spot. Jacob Lassiter worked at the bottom of the racetrack. Larry Townsend has gone around. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Yellow flag coming out. And I do believe Jacob Lassiter will be scored in that 3rd position as it reverts back to the last lap completed. Let's see what happened to Larry Townsend to bring out this latest yellow flag. Working down in the corner, John Darby on the outside of the 38 of Townsend works down the backstretch. Townsend gets a little bit sideways. Oh, Darby got the outside wall, and that hooks the 38 of Townsend. Nose first in the turn 3 wall. So tough break there. Tyler Carter going to get his lap back. here, so Tyler Carter should be back on the lead lap here with 6 laps remaining when we go back green flag racing. This one has been a great race so far. Out there, who do you think is going to win it? Can Justin Holt hold on to go back to back here tonight? Or will Kyle Vandergriff, does he got any love out there? Will he be able to get by the 31 of Justin Holt? Jacob Lassiter looked good on the bottom of the racetrack, challenging for that number 2 position. Could he be the spoiler and get back to victory lane? We are about to find out. Justin Holt going to jump on the loud pedal. We are back underway down here with 6 laps to go. Vandergriff to the inside. Here comes Lassiter. Lassiter to the inside. 3 wide for your race lead in the turn number 3 and 4. Also working the outside is the Braswell automobile, but at the line it'll be Holt by about a bumper cap in the turn number 1. Lassiter puts the nose out front. He's working the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Brandon Marlowe as well. Lassiter works the bottom, clips the Uke tire that time off the corner. 5 to go, 4 laps to go now as Holt works back to the outside. Lassiter on the inside, the outside with the momentum. But Lassiter has sole possession of that race lead. Off of turn number 4, Justin Holt rolls a little bit better at the line. Lassiter had it with 3 laps to go. Jacob Lassiter working the bottom of the racetrack. Can he do it here tonight? Works the bottom, and he's bringing the 37 of Marlowe with him as well. 2 laps to go. Final true circuit trail. 1 car up and over. That was a 51 of Lassiter. Lassiter's getting bumped off the bottom. He hit the Uke tire. That gives the race lead back to Justin Holt. Here comes Braswell ripping the lip. Final trip around the speedway. Marlowe into that number 2 spot. He is looking for the race lead. Here comes Braswell. Braswell's going to split him down the middle. James Braswell down the inside. He'll make contact with the 31 of Holt. And at the line, it'll be Braswell picking up the win. Marlowe in second. Third will go to Justin Holt. Lassiter 4th. 5th spot will go to Vandergriff, Darby, Townsend, George. Blake Brown and Tyler Carter will round out your field. What a move off of turn number 2. There was contact down in 3 and 4. But your race leader, the number 18, James Braswell, unofficially going to be your race leader as we watch the fireworks go lit off from the infield here tonight. And as they do that, we will find out officially who is your race winner here tonight. Right after a quick word, we'll be right back with your Autocraft Paint and Bodyworks post-race show from the Kokomo Speedway.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12-Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back here to the Kokomo Speedway, where the dust has settled after 50 intense laps of racing here tonight, and picking up the win was your current points leader. Had to have a good night after last week, and it's none other than car number 18 of James Braswell. I wanted to call you Justin Braswell. James Braswell gets out of the car here, and James, you came out of nowhere on those last laps there. Talk us through how you made it all possible to get back here to victory lane.
Yeah, finally after that last restart, I just said, no, I'm not going to get third or fourth. I want a top three, so I just put the car on the top and tried to do what I could. And on the last lap, I mean, felt like I had a good run. I dove down there to the leader, but I didn't want to hit him in the back and dump us both, so I dive bomb, and I might have got into him a little bit, but it was nothing intentional. Just hard, intense racing for me.
We saw a lot of guys. The track really transitioned throughout the end of this event. We saw the bottom start to become dominant, but you're able to make the cushion work. How difficult is it to get around this little quarter mile at Kokomo, and not only on the bottom, because we saw you work in the bottom, we saw you work in the middle, and we've seen you work in the top here tonight. How hard is this track to get around?
On the bottom, it's very hard unless you're just good at that. You know, Marlowe and Lassiter, they're probably the kings on the bottom. Like, I knew I wasn't going to have nothing for them if I stayed on the bottom. They're too fast down there. And I usually like to run at the top at any track I can. And I don't have any experience at this track. This is the first race 50 laps I've ever did at this track. So I didn't know the top was going to still be there at the end of the race, and it was. So that's why I just transitioned and did that and see what I could do. And it worked out.
You got a heck of a run off of turn number 2. You split Marlowe and Holt down in the turn number 3. There was slight contact in turns 3 and 4. Are you going to come out of here with the win? We know that there was no ill against either of you guys going into that corner. It's hard-nosed racing. Talk us through that last lap.
Yeah, like I said, when I came in the corner, I passed, I think, third or something like that, and saw the white flag and how close I was to Holt. I was like, I got a shot at this. So I railed the top, came right on his bumper, and just dove down for the last corner. I mean, like you said, it's hard-nosed racing. It was fun. I apologize to Justin getting into him that bad. In my point of view, no, it wasn't really just that bad of a incident, but, you know, it's racing, I guess.
Well, tonight was the penultimate night of racing. Next week, we had the Cedar Lake for the second and final crown jewel. 75 laps of action going to be coming at you next week at Cedar Lake. We know that was a kickoff of the season. We're going to revisit that track here this year for the season finale. What's the outlook as you head into there as the points leader?
Cedar's my favorite track, so I hope, you know, knock on some wood, I don't jinx myself, but that's definitely my top 2 track that I love to race, so hopefully I can pull out at least a top 5 there as well, close out the season strong.
Well, before we let you roll on out of here and get into the tech area, who makes it all possible for you in this 18 team?
Yeah, man, me and my crew from South Moffett, man, we've been working together doing setups and tinkering around with other things. We're just running together, you know, doing a lot of practice sessions together, trying to get faster, and, you know, got good looking cars thanks to John Darby. got our graphics looking real nice for each race we pull up to.
Well, congratulations on your win here, James. We'll see you next week for the season finale, and congratulations on your win here tonight.
Thank you, sir.
That is your race winner, the driver, the 18 junior of James Braswell here tonight, as he picked up the win here, as he will head pit side to go into there. It will come in here to your second place driver. The driver working the bottom, I dubbed him the catfish here tonight. That is the driver of the number 37 of Brandon Marlowe. And Brandon, you're going to come home in that number 2 spot here tonight. You're going to move up 1 spot from last week from Lernerville. But, man, talk about how drastic of a different track this is compared to Lernerville.
Oh, it's a huge difference, man, going from a track that big and having to worry about driving off the top to, the short track racing, the little beating and banging, as I'm sure you've seen. It's definitely a different ball game.
Well, you did a good job. The car looks fairly straight here, not a quarter panel out of whack on this 37, which is a feat in its own here at Kokomo. But talk us through your race. Did you have a game plan going into this 50-lap feature event?
Yeah, I'm not real good at running the top around here, so I was really hoping the bottom would come in. Car wasn't that good at the beginning, and then it just got easier to hit the bottom as the race went. I missed it there in 3 and 4 coming to the checkered. I think I could have had a shot at the win if I wouldn't have slipped up into the slick, but that's how it goes.
We saw you and the 51 of Lassiter really working the bottom there. Lassiter unfortunately got those Uke tires that are always hunting to take the front ends out of these race cars. But yeah, you talked about missing it. How fine of a line was it towards the later stages of this race where the moisture was on the bottom?
It didn't take much, and you could jump right over that line, and then once you get to the slick, you can't hardly lay on the gas pedal at all, and just nothing but wheel spin. Jacob was doing a heck of a job running back up through there. I just want to apologize to him again for getting into him. I overdrove the corner there once and spun him out earlier in the race, and then he flew back through the field. And it was really him that showed me the bottom was in. Once he passed me, I jumped in behind him and took off. And when he caught the tire with the left front, I was worried I was going to get him again, but luckily we made it through there with at least no one spinning.
Yeah, we are watching right now on the screen that last lap. You guys went 3 wide down into turn number 3. Did you know at that point you were 3 wide on the bottom?
I caught the nose of Braswell's car just as we went into the corner, and then it went back out of frame. I had a good feeling we were 3 wide, and like I said, I just barely missed the good dirt right along the tires, and I knew it as soon as I tried to get on the gas coming to the checker.
Well, man, you're going to have 2 good weeks here back to back as we head into our season finale. It's hard to believe that we are 1 week away from throwing the checker flag on the inaugural series season for the All-Star Racing Series. Overall takeaways headed into Cedar Lake for the 75-lap main event next week.
I feel good about it. I like Cedar Lake. It's another track you can catfish at late in the race, so I'm excited about that. Had a good run there to start the season here with this series, so just hoping for the best.
Well, Brandon, it's been a pleasure talking to you once again here. Maybe next week we'll have you up 1 more spot up there in that victory lane circle, but we know there's a lot of people that are behind this 37 team, and you got to thank them.
I'd like to thank Flex Motorsports and 399 Esports, that's teammates Justin and Jacob. Like I said, we'll apologize again to Jacob and congratulate them on their two good runs. He came back flying through the field. I want to thank my wife for taking care of the little one while I'm in here. You guys at Turn 3 for broadcasting, Blake for putting this series on, and also want to give a shout out to John Darby at JDM Designs for hooking me up with this new wrap.
A very sharp-looking race car. We noticed yours and Lassiter's very good-looking race cars, and I always plug JDM Designs. You want to look as good as these guys, you gotta get one of their designs, and they show it here tonight on with how good your cars looked.
He knocked it out of the park.
Well, congratulations. That's your second place finisher, the number 37 of Brandon Marlowe. going to come home here in spot number 2, and that will leave us with our third and final driver, the driver who was leading it to those late race yellow flags, and we now pulled up here with the number 31 of Justin Holt. And Justin, a heartbreaker for you for sure. Talk us through this race here for you. It looked like you had it under control, and then those late race yellow flags really let the field reel you back in.
The car was pretty good. I just ran the middle line the whole time. I can't run the bottom here. Just for some reason, I can't hit it right. So, car was pretty good. Just, yellows kept killing me, letting them catch back up. You know, I pull away a little bit, and the yellow would come out. Kyle, you know, he was fast. The longer we went, I noticed he would catch me a little bit. So I was worried about him. But and then hell, Jacob had the race won, running the bottom. He just hit that tire. Jackass.
To talk about how difficult this Kokomo racetrack is, we were just talking with Brandon saying it was really, really tough down on the bottom, especially later in the stages of this, to hit that good dirt with a lot of moisture. We saw you really running more of the middle to lower middle line here around the racetrack. Just how difficult. A lot of people watching here might not have a lot of laps around Kokomo. This track is probably one of the most difficult dirt tracks on the service.
That's pretty tough. Gets slick. You know, I honestly never even tried the top. I probably should have moved up, but you know, the middle seemed to be working, so I just kind of stayed where I was at. So it's a good race. Wasn't real fond of the ending, but you know, it is what it is, and we'll race people how they race us, and we'll continue on next week.
Well, next week is our season finale. You're gonna wind it up here at the Cedar Lake Speedway, or it's the track that we've been to at the beginning of the season. Did you make any changes to that setup from the opening night to where we're going to be next week? 75 laps in distance, a little bit extra distance next week. What's the outlook for this team headed into the season finale?
Should be pretty good. Jacob won there, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. First week, I actually started on the pole of that race and got spun out first lap. I think I got back to fourth. Had a good race, just needed some more laps, but we should be fine. It'll be a good race for some of us. Some of us, it will not be a good race.
Well, next week, we'll see. The last week to settle some scores here. We know that tonight did not end the way you wanted to, but I know you got some guys to thank here behind this 311 automobile to get you on the podium here for the second straight week.
Jacob and Brandon at 399 Esports, and then everybody at Flex Motorsports, and Blake for putting this league on, you for broadcasting, and Charlie Milner at Milner Media Design for the wrap.
Very nice looking automobile you have there. Well, Justin, until next week, man, we'll see you at the Cedar Lake Speedway. Be good this week, and we'll see you in 1 week's time. That is your third place finisher here tonight, Justin Holt out of Texas. Can't really say too surprised that he is not overly happy with how it ended here tonight for him, as he was the dominant car early in the stages. Let's take a look at your results here from the Kokomo Speedway. James Braswell will get credited with the win. Brandon Marlowe will come home second. Justin Holt, Jacob Lassiter, and Kyle Vandergriff will round out your top 5. John Darby will come home in spot number 6. 7th spot will go to Larry Townsend, Matt George, Blake Brown, and Tyler Carter, rounding out your 10 cars here tonight for the All-Star Racing Series Autocraft Paint and Body Works here at Kokomo. Next week, the series travels back to Richmond, Wisconsin for the season finale, and the checkered flag will be out on the inaugural season for the All-Star Racing Series. But until then, we want to thank everybody for tuning on in. Remember, my name is Upstate Al here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We appreciate you turning in here tonight and watching the All-Star Racing Series. Make sure you hit that thumbs up if you're watching on the YouTube side, and subscribe to the channel as we chase 2,000 subscriptions. If you're watching on Facebook, hit that thumbs up, hit the heart. Let these drivers know how much you appreciate their efforts here tonight at the Kokomo Speedway. Well, until next week for the season finale up at Cedar Lake Speedway, keep it wheels down, and we'll see you at the races.